your creature gets a fright. You just hear this like, it's like bellowed roar as it starts to go backwards. You go backwards by like 2 or 3 feet, but you can see all the other creatures bursting off into the distance in front of you. It's not off to a good start, I'm afraid. But that's going to lead us. It's going to lead us to rolling
Just
forward.
keep going backwards and then go forwards. You technically cross the finish line first.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. So we got 2. I'm going to make you Hadrosaurus number 1. We got 2 more Hadrosaurs that are going to take it easy, as you have. And for the Hadrosaur, you need to be the DC 10. They are going to both progress 40 feet. They are just behind you. Coppersworth. As you are in the limelight, not expecting this really. People kind of cheering for you. Technically, you're kind of at the front for the moment. Let's see if the Triceratops can keep up. They're going to make some animal handling checks. Oh shit, okay, so one of the Triceratops is with you, Alixe, as it is like gutting at the ground, bucking, trying to basically kick its rider off, but the other one does manage to get 50. Let's get a second round of rolls, please, from our 2 players. What are you going to be doing first? Who's dashing? Who's going normally?
I would dash at this point. I have nothing to lose.
Okay, go for it. Then you must roll your animal handling check at advantage, and your creature's going to have to make a con save.
All right. Please go well.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
And if any of you spectators want to do something to change the odds, you can butt in at any time. Okay,
I think Guinea will most likely will be quite fascinated. She would not be betting, but she would be quite interested in seeing these dinosaurs racing, and she is gonna try to take a shortcut to see who actually wins, and also just ignore the dogs in the background.
No problem. So you like following the race, trying to get to the finish line to watch the end?
Basically.
Perfect. So, Zohar. So let's just say this: would everyone who hasn't go to their settings in the top right and just make their display name your character name, and then in brackets your Discord name for me? I think that'll make it much easier.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Like this. Is that okay?
That is beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alixe, you got your animal handling check as you start to spur your creature into action. They're trying to catch up with everybody. You're running the Hadrosaur, so that'll get you 50. Catching up to them, give me a con save. This is going to be a flat. Yes?
Would it be a 60 because of my long strider? Because of the extra 10 feet?
Thank you for reminding me. I will put a note here, plus 10, 60. So yeah, people are actually amazed. You can hear the announcer even. I've never seen a Hadrosaurus move that fast before. You actually get in front of your other companion, well, Coppersworth, not your companion yet. And give me a con save. It's going to be a d20 plus 1.
Alright. Oh, that's definitely not good.
Okay. I'm afraid you need to beat a 10, so you fall just short. You feel your creature imbued, not necessarily used to this magical enchantment. Its muscles are moving, working at a rate that is much more than it's used to, and it begins to unfortunately slow down. Over to our spine surfer, Coppersworth. Have you made some rolls for us? What are you doing?
I'm just like
dashing,
taking this opportunity to let it like breathe, but I'm just gonna go as far as I can. So I just made an animal handling check. I didn't really know if I needed to. No,
that's fine. So are you just going the standard 30 feet with it?
Yeah, I'm just letting it catch its breath.
Perfect. So that's nice. Okay, you still need to do an animal handling check. You've done it, and you need to be an 8, which you've done. No further checks. You are gonna not go, unfortunately, the full 30, as your creature is tired, but you do get back out to the front momentarily, and which is surprising because the Dimetrodon is one of the lower picked creatures. Let's see how everybody else does. So we got the 2 Hadrosauruses. They are falling behind, so they're gonna dash, which is gonna mean each of them is gonna give me an advantage. Oh, bloody hell! Okay, so the first one fails, the second one succeeds. So one of the hadrosaurs falls behind. It's only gonna get 60 feet forward this round. The other one needs to make a con save because he's trying to push his. In fact, they both do. They both do succeed. So it looks like one of the hadrosaurs does pull ahead. He gets 50, so he gets up to 90 feet here. So he's almost at the halfway point. He's underneath the bridge where the merchant princes are looking down on him, and you can see this looks to be an albino dwarf. You've seen one or two of them in Schultz. They're not very common, but
Woo!
he's riding up.
I've played an albino dwarf.
Nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll for the Triceratops. Let's see if this guy can catch up. That Triceratops at this point, it's thrown him off, and he is getting disqualified as it's trying to rampage in the crowd, and it's getting kind of controlled by the guards rushing in. As for the second one, though, it wants to get ahead. It is 50 feet forward at the moment, and it's gonna take things easy. It's gonna move at a solid 50 and not risk anything. Now, what's the fun in that? No, he's gonna risk it. He's gonna go 75, which would put him out in front. But he's gonna have to make quite a hard con save, which he fails. So he's gonna go half speed for a while. All right. In the next round of things, it looks like we have first place at 125 feet, second place at 90, and then third place, one of our players coming in on the Dimetrodon at 65. What are you doing, Coppersworth?
So is there something I could do in between my normal speed and a sprint, as in just like have a gallop?
No, it's kind of either the steady speed or push it for bursts.
I'm just gonna go my steady speed then.
Okay, so it's going to be 30, eh? That'll put you to 95, up into second place. And you can feel your creature starting to get into a good stride. In fact, let's see here. I'll say for that you get an extra 10 feet, getting you up to 115 for not pushing the creature. Not enough to get into first place though, but slightly more. Your creature is able to kind of pace itself. Onto the Hadrosaurus with Longstrider. What are you doing, Elixir?
I have two questions.
Yes.
One. So my dinosaur goes half his speed now, right? Because he failed his constitution.
Yes.
How does that stack with Longstrider? Is that half and then you add the 10 feet, or 10 feet and then you have the half? Because
it would normally add up all the modifiers before rounding down the entire amount.
All right, then it should be 25 feet per round if I'm walking normally. And if I push my Hydrosaurus right now, what is the, like, do I double my half speed so I walk just normal speed? I'm a little confused about that.
You would go 50 feet instead of 40 feet at a normal rate. It's not really a dash so much as just getting a burst of speed. The Hadrosaurus, because you got a low DC, you're it's like a fairly average middling dinosaur.
Oh, you know what? My character just wants to win. He doesn't care about the dinosaur. He will try to dash. Well, which seems like not gonna work out, but
that's with advantage, your animal handling. So that is actually a success.
Oh, okay.
With advantage, because now your creature does need to make a con saving throw. So give me a d20.
Yep. D20 plus 1, as you said before?
Yep.
Or... Oh no.
Oh, dude, another 9. So yeah, your creature veers off to the side. You can hear it like crying out. It's almost like it's got some kind of indigestion or something. You do get to let's see here. You got the animal handling check, so 60, 30. Very nice. Okay, so you're keeping up at the front of the pack at the very least. As we get into the next round, I'm going to be rolling for the two Hadrosauruses. Let's see what we get. The first one fails he fails a very easy check. Okay, so he falls even further behind. The second one does pass. He's going to be moving a solid 40 without any risk. The last Triceratops, one of them is out of the race. One of them is going to roll. And, okay, that's another fail. He's already half speed this round. He is starting to struggle. The Triceratops being more fractious, being a bigger creature, better able to defend itself. It's not as docile and harder to ride. This one's starting to give him trouble. He only gets to 150 feet, but he's going to be further slowed for the next round. Okay. So as we come into the kind of the last stretch of things, the merchant princes have turned to watch you. You can see them as you go underneath. Alexei, you kind of just passed, maybe disappointed that some of them have turned away before you've got there, as they're kind of watching the front of the pack. But nonetheless, we get to our next round. Alexei, are you just pushing pedal to the metal? Are you
Yeah.
trying to catch up?
I just wanna try to get to the front, even if it kills my dinosaur. It's not
Fair
mine
enough.
anyways.
So it's a loner, it's fine.
Oh no. Okay, well, I'm gonna care now, aren't I?
Yeah. You can feel that. He feels your. You don't care about him. You just want to win this race, and he's starting to buck. He's starting to lose control. You're starting to lose control of him. Let's just check here exactly what's going to happen.
Oof. Good luck. Please don't kill me first 0 episode.
Okay. Unfortunately, it kind of like puts its feet down and like digs into the dirt this round. And being fairly stubborn and obstinate, you can't really get it to move. Unfortunately.
I'm gonna like speak loudly, like scream at at my dinosaur, like, I did my part. I used my magic on you. Why are you not working? Like blaming it for its failures.
Nice. It takes a 10-foot step forward, just to like, just to. Yeah, he's used a bit of magic you gave him. Let's see.
Petty.
Yeah, just be petty. Okay, to Metrodon, what you doing? Mr. Coppersworth. Currently third, but
So I am pushing it to the limit because I think we're close to the end.
nice.
Good thing you did that.
You step on it. Yes, you actually do. You get 50. Give me a con saving throws. You get to 175 feet. You can smell the finish line. It's right there. May the gods of Schultz be with you. Yes, okay. Your creature is putting its head down, putting on a burst of speed. You having to like hold onto the fins at this point. It's moving at such a rate. That's going to bring us to your opponents, though. Let's see how they're going to do. So we're going to have some people risking it for the biscuit, just like you are. We're going to get a advantage roll. Advantage roll. Okay, these guys are not very good. Both of them, no, a 12 will succeed. So, okay, one does not move at all. He stays at 80 feet. He is not able to control this creature. You can see what, I mean, fair enough. It's a fairly hefty figure, probably even a bit of Goliath blood, and the creature is suffering. So that one's kind of stopped. The one that is in second place, though, that one looks like it succeeds and pushes ahead. And that's going to get it all the way to 180 feet, and it's going to make a con save. You can see this albino dwarf with his head down. Doesn't make the save. The creature starts to pant, slow down. You can see him screaming in frustration, kind of like starting to slap the creature with his stirrup. The Triceratops. Oh shit, okay, the Triceratops, which could have won if he didn't fail that, literally does not move as the creature digs into the dirt. Looks like something has crawled onto the track, like a snake or something, and this creature is stuck at 150 feet. It is not moving any further. And we're on to the next. Yes?
Where is Alex dinosaur at? Like, what, at what
You
point?
are currently at 100 feet. You
Oh.
are dead halfway. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so on to Coppersworth. I mean, everyone is technically rolling at the same time, so give us your rolls and let's see if you're going to be able to get over the finish line this time. We've got another figure at 180 that is going to roll with you. Okay, looks like one of the other Hadrosaurus will cross the finish line with you this turn if you succeed on your animal handling checks.
All right. And I don't have to sprint anymore, right? I just
If you
gotta...
tie, it's better to have a higher total distance as a tiebreaker.
I'll sprint again then.
Okay, give me that con save. You succeed on the animal handling. The other Hadrosaurus is going to give a con save. Let's see how he does. Oh shit. Okay. 30. Okay, the other Triceratops. He's not moving at all. Give us your rolls quick, Elixir.
Sure. Come on, work with me. I'm only pushing you to the limit like 3 times in a row. What's the problem? Oh, okay. He doesn't like me. We're not friends anymore.
Okay, that one kind of skis to a stop, unfortunately. As the crowd goes wild, you pass the finish line, and it looks like it's a tie between the one Hadrosaurus and I've just gone blank, and Coppersworth, in fact. And as you look around, Elixir, you can see that, well, you have not moved this round. Neither has the Triceratops. So give me another set of rolls quickly to see what happens next round.
Sure. Animal handling?
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, jeez. Why do you
Oh,
gotta...
there's the nat 20s. Okay.
Alright, now he listens. I'm pushing him to the limits at all times, so... Don't
So
think it
it
mattered here, but yeah.
looks like you are still going to come fourth. And we have Coppersworth coming in a very close second, unfortunately. As the crowd goes crazy, you break through the kind of the barrier and you ski to a stop, all kind of in this plaza here. You look around, people chanting for you, the merchant princes giving a paltry applause as well. You are approached by the coordinators to be given your winnings, and it's going to be 20 gold for second place for you, Coppersworth. Definitely not a measly amount at all. And it's going to be everyone who is lower than third gets 5 gold for participating.
I'll scoff a little bit at 5 gold. I'm like, that should have been more. Why did you do? I'm pointing at the dinosaur. It's your fault.
You could see it kind of just like blows spit and very hot air into your face. Farts of it and moves off. One of the Triceratops in the background is got under control, and the other Hadrosaurus just limps across the finish line now that you guys are all done. But you can see the proprietor coming up to you. Good race, everyone here. We're having... he points back to the top, where the merchant princes are, and he looks to the dwarf, the albino dwarf that won. Was there any merchant prince that you wanted to speak to in particular? To which the dwarf replies, I seek the patronage of Akene Alpha. I would fight and... well, I would have her hear my petition. He nods, kind of leads him off. Looks towards you as well, Elixir, as kind of all the racers gather around. He asks the same question of you, Elixir, if there's any merchant prince that you would wish to petition for.
I look a little confused because I went last, but I mean,
sorry, I'm saying Coppersworth.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That makes more sense.
So what are you asking me? How you asking me?
Sorry, Coppersworth. If there's any merchant prince that you would gain the patronage of, I mean, you being a guide, you probably already have dealings with Jobal, so you could always seek to further your relations with the merchant prince of guides and sell swords.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. So basically, what was offered during this race, which possibly the reason some of you participated, was the merchant princes, because of the influx of adventurers, are sponsoring groups onto the jungle. In return, they will get a small cut of the the 10,000 gold pieces if you are successful. But you are kind of outfitted, you are given information, you are given a bit of a stipend. So in general, it's a good way to start. Now, as all of the people that participated in the race, and you see that in the previous races as well, and you have to wait a little bit for the race after this, which is the no hold bars race, which a couple of Allosauruses and one single young T-Rex are competing, and it gets bloody pretty quickly, with pretty much only one of the Allosauruses crossing the finish line with a rider left, and pretty much only because he was in the right place at the right time and stayed out of the way of all the blood and the trouble. The rest of you are led up into a more resplendent area of the Merchant's Ward, and you can see that the group of merchant princes are all there, kind of looking out at the individuals brought before them. One steps forward, and you can actually see Alexei, the figure that you're most interested in meeting, Wakanga Tamu, steps forward to address the crowd here. Congratulations on your victories here today. He points, my brothers and sisters, we look to sponsoring groups of people heading into the jungles to examine Schultz's history and maybe bring a reasoning and put a stop to the madness that this curse has, this hold it has over us. He looks from face to face. A lot of you have shown your competence here today, pointing out some of the more memorable victors of the day. And a lot of you will be receiving work contracts from us. Just know that any contract you receive is binding, and you are to give yourself and your respect to the merchant prince you are dealing with. He looks to the side. Now, as for the people who won here today, that which would be Coppersworth, you spoke to speak to Jabal, who is very happy to see you here as one of his guides. Just kind of representing his part to play in the city. He puts an arm around you. This is it's kind of a gruff-faced fellow. You can see many wounds over his body. He's definitely put himself in the way of danger as he pulls you aside. Careful not to touch your skin. They said I was mad when I allowed Igrang into my line of work, but here you are proving them wrong. Do you seek to head an expedition out into the forest? Is this why you participate today?
Yeah. I found myself with some free time. There was a dinosaur race. Thought it'd be fun. But yeah, I'm back looking for another job.
He nods. Keep in mind, safety in numbers. You would do well to find others to travel with you, but all in due time, I think. I will begin preparations to have you outfitted for travel into the jungle. Basic necessities, a few rations, insect repellents and such. This will take...
as always, if I could get duplicates of everything, that would be nice.
Not ever prudent. You know as well as any the dangers that the Schulten jungle poses to most. Find those that you would trust the sword arm, or you would trust in general. You would need more than yourself on this journey. He looks around at the other merchant princes, some of whom have kind of split up, speaking to others there. Is anyone taking this opportunity to approach anyone in particular, or speak to anyone, or do something?
I would try to. Oh, sorry. You go first.
Oh, thank you. Gine would be a little bit nervous about asking one of the guides to let her join, but I think because of her, well, not appearance, but the fact that she doesn't seem to be a capable woman will probably be rejected at every turn. Is that okay, Dion?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's up to you on what you want your characters to do. 100%. You can see that. Well, you not technically among the winner's circle because you didn't participate in the race. You're not allowed with this group into the merchant's ward, but there is you can see Aki, this other amongst other figures, are waiting at the gates here to speak with those who have gotten the patronage of the merchant princes, because they are most likely going to be wanting to put groups together for expeditions into the jungle.
Oh, I think Guinea would probably go over there and just wait until she gets an audience with some of the with some of the guides, so she can travel into the jungle.
Yeah, sure.
I think by accident she would bump into Aki by accident. Is that okay?
Real quick, so before all of this started, you were saying that Coppersworth and I would probably have to figure out how our relationship is as both guides. I figured when we were talking about it that we were sort of playing both sides of the guide market, where he's like the face of the legal aspect of it, and if anyone approaches and it's like that's too steep of a price to pay, he would sort of introduce me as a cheaper alternative since I don't have to pay patronage.
Okay.
Okay. So
Was that
is
are
it-
you good with that, Coppersworth?
Oh, yeah, we talked about it. We were messaging each other privately
Awesome.
because you said we would have to come up with something. So, like, we both immediately jumped on an idea, and his was better.
That's true. Oh, okay. So it's okay if Guinea bumped to you, Aki, by accident.
Yeah, well,
You're
you both.
bumping into me by accident. I don't think I have a choice in that.
Yeah, I'm just asking you as a player, not as the character.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, Guinea, I think Guinea's just was going through the crowds of people. She accidentally bumps into you. How tall are you, Aki?
6 foot, I believe, is what I made my character.
Guinea is 5'4".
Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall.
Yeah, you're taller than me. So when she bumps into your chest, she looks up and says, and just scooches back. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you.
Sort of hurriedly make sure that none of my clothes were moved, and say it's perfectly fine. And then I turn my attention to look at Grung, Coppersworth, to see
Yes.
how his conversation is going.
I'm just, gonna see him outside the corner of my peripheral and just quickly put a thumbs up and put my hand back down.
I'll nod to him and then sort of slink away so as to not draw attention to myself.
Perfect. So, in the crowd, as you slip away, Sangine, you are approached by another individual. In fact, it's a tabaxi that moves up.
Hello there. This one's name is River Mist. Is it possible that you may be interested in a guide into the jungle? You look new around here. Me and my brother are quite experts at anything up and down the River Tariki.
Can I do an insight check on them?
Yes.
Yeah, insight check. My first roll for the game. Let me see.
So you see an
Here we go.
orange-looking tabaxi with an eye patch, with a
Nice.
kind of skinnier silver tabaxi behind him. He looks around though. As you listen to his kind of introductory drawl, introducing himself as River Mist and Flask of Wine. And by your insight, you're trying to check if they're basically trying to scam you or if they know what they're talking about. Is that right?
Yeah, basically. or if they have ill intent, basically.
Sure. So from what you can tell from the outward appearance of them, they probably see you as a bit of a mark, being a foreigner. They definitely look like the type that could take advantage, maybe rise the price, hike the price for those not aware, you know?
Yeah, but Guinea has been traveling for a long time just to get the jolt, so she probably met people like them before.
Yeah, so you'd know that probably not the best type to deal with, as he goes on to introduce himself and say,
I'll price 6 gold pieces per day with a 30 gold day, with a 30-day advance, of course, is what Jobal's flankies demand. We, however, are happy to serve as guides for 4 pieces a day only, with no payment up front, eh? Even better, we waive the fee entirely for equal share of whatever treasures we help you find. Are you by yourself, or you have friends?
Just it's just bows in respect. I apologize, but I'm afraid I must be going. No offense, but you don't look like the guys that fits my description. But thank you for the offer, though. And she walks around them and away from them.
sure.
Calmly and politely, as much as she can.
Yeah, you hear them kind of just muttering offhand to,
Flask, was it something I said?
he kind of lifts up his hand and kind of sniffs at his underarm, shakes his head and just moves further into the crowd, looking for someone else to advertise to. Now, speaking to, let's see, Elixir, you are amongst the winner's circle, so to speak.
I lost.
You're not amongst the winner's circle, but you were taken up with the others who participated in the race and finished. You're watching this all happen as well. And is there any person or thing you want to say, or are you interested in Wakanga Tamu?
I think I'm assuming it's not possible to approach the princes without any permission, so I would do the next best thing and wait for Copperworth to be done talking to the prince, and try to jump at the first opportunity where he's free, like trying to approach him, trying to start a conversation with him, because I want any connection with the princes. I need to start somewhere.
Okay, with Coppersworth. And I mean, it might interest you, Coppersworth, as Jabal tells you, you're going to be funded, you're going to be, find a group of however many you feel comfortable with, enough, but not more than like 5 or 6, and he's going to be giving you each 50 gold to outfit yourself for the coming journey. You need to find capable warriors, people you trust, whatever your decision may be.
I'm gonna let him know that the guy, Alexi, in the race seems pretty confident. So maybe you could talk to him after, we're done here. I already have a couple other people in mind. One is the other half of what is our group, our company, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't like people knowing who he is, because it might tarnish his family's reputation.
Yeah, I mean, Jabal is your boss. You definitely don't want him to know.
Yeah.
Merchants who operate outside Jabal's jurisdiction can sometimes come to sticky ends, so it's not the safest profession.
Well, I'm the voice for both of us, so I pay both of our wages and all of that. I'm just letting him know that he's going to be with me this time.
Yeah, perfect. Well, he basically says, go take a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, find enough people you trust, people you're willing to work with, and then you are welcome to book an appointment at his merchant villa and come have a meeting with him, where he will distribute, he'll meet all of the people of your group, he will distribute your stipend, and yeah, talk about what the future of business has to hold with you two.
All right. I will bow my head as always and thank him for his presence, and then I'll be back here with haste within 48 hours.
As you begin to step away, though, he does grab your arm.
One last thing. I want you to meet a contact of mine in the old city. His name is Pockmarked Poe. You will easily recognize him by his crippling disability. He lives near the northernmost cigarettes in the old city. Speak to him. There is some interesting news going around that perhaps someone of your skills may be able to help me with. There is always a lot of gold in assisting the merchant princes.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. I can do that. Do you want me to do it alone, or do you want me to bring the group?
I leave this to your discretion.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I want to call over Alexi because I noticed that he's been
Stalking
waiting
you?
patiently,
Oh,
waiting patiently, and just being hyper observant. I'm gonna be like, this is the other rider I was talking about. I'd actually like him to join us.
Oh, so
And then I'm gonna
Jamal's
go.
moved off. That's your choice, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
And
tell
then-
I'll tell you even though I lost, I want you to know that I'll basically, I don't know how exactly to word it, but I basically tell you that I did use a spell to try to show that I'm willing to be honest with you, and yeah.
Well, I mean, magic is always very useful. You guys would know that, especially you both seem to be natives. One Grung, one Woodolf.
Yeah, so it's always nice to have people from around here. There was a couple of those shady tabaxis about. I'm gonna go make sure they weren't harassing anybody and trying to scam people out of their gold and leave them in the forest with nothing. So, just gonna go do my duties, or not my duties. I'm gonna go do my job.
And our Aki would probably recognize those two as kind of low-level grifters, charging exorbitant amounts of money. Usually they would take the first chance to kind of leave people stranded. Especially if they could get away with the luggage or anything like that.
My character, I think, at this point, if that's the case, would have gone over after Songine walked away and said, "Be careful of those that would try and scam you. Usually, anyone approaching you with a deal too good to be true is too good to be true." And then I turn to signal over to Coppersworth to meet and discuss how Jabal would be financing the expedition. Because I'm assuming that was a shared goal between us.
So you walk towards me after I walk away from the back seat.
Yeah.
Oh. So nice. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Sangine.
Nice to meet you.
Am I in this? Sorry.
Yeah, you guys are approaching this as well. If you know, feel free to join in if you'd like. Kind of the four of you are coming together at this point.
I think I will go. Hello, Sangine. You said. That's quite a sight. You have a tail. Are you some sort of magical creature? Can I look at it? Can I examine you? And I would show a lot of interest in the whole tail debauchery.
What you wouldn't know is it is in fact a monkey tail of all things, and no thanks, and this tail is quite sensitive to touch. I don't let my family never let other people touch our tails. Not at all. But
Of course. I'm sorry.
But it is alright. You didn't know.
So,
Oh, and I know it's over the ground. Oh, you're that ground who wants second place. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Ah, thank you. The name's Coppersworth, but you can call me Copper. It's just easier that way.
It's nice to meet you,
But-
Copper. I am Sangine, but you can just call me Gine.
Nice to meet you. Just so you know, there's quite a bit of shady creatures and people around here trying to take advantage of foreigners. So it's best to stick to like guilds and people that come from, you know, reputable places to find guides. And
Believe me,
especially those two backseat.
I have seen people like them before. Trust me. I've traveled
Okay.
quite a far distance to get to Chult.
All right. Well, what brings you here exactly? Because we actually are having to go do kind of an expedition for my boss, and maybe you could just join us and kind of go along the way. I mean,
You would actually allow me to join?
it's the best way to see Jolt. I can
will.
show you the highs, the lows, the darks, the brights.
I will be honored. She bows to you in respect.
Awesome. I'm gonna hand her 50 gold. And so, Sangie, just go ahead and buy gear and anything that you think you might need with this starter gold. Just a heads up, avoid any sort of like heavy metal equipment. It gets hot and humid and that tends to rust. So,
Understandable. I am not someone who goes with heavy metal, of course. It's a little bit. Do I have no offense, but I am not. Do I look like the person who would probably wear heavy metal? She points to her gi she's wearing.
so how old would you say Sangine is?
She is. I changed her age, just to let you know, DM. Just so.
Okay.
She is 47 years old, but she looks like she's in her 20s.
Okay. Oh, I just forgot what I was going to say. So yes, you guys are aware of a variety of places if you wanted to put your stuff down, or you know, general taverns around here. There's a fair few of them, and those the locals would know of. A couple, the Knife and Pork, the Rumble Inn, Peace and Quiet. It depends kind of what atmosphere you're looking for. There's also, you know, of one out in the Tricky Anchorage, the Hunter's Rest, which is in fact built out of some of the giant dinosaur skeletons that have been brought in from the wild. But otherwise, pretty much the day is yours. You're looking around. It's just after midday. The hot Shulton sun is beating down on you, and you can look around. You're fairly close to the harbor. The sounds of creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across the cobblestones are mingling with the voices around you, shouting and cursing in this unfamiliar language filled with clicks, inhalations, and sing-songy words. It makes it sound almost musical. Some of you would be used to the local Shulton at this point. The aroma around you, mostly sweaty where you are in the midst of the throngs of people, but nearby the Grand Bazaar you can smell fish, spices, unfamiliar tropical fruits. Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of color. There's tabaxi minstrels on the street corners. Every building sports flowers and baskets. You can see in the aftermath of the race, there's a crowd of children dressed with feathered hats, kind of mimicking some of the dinosaurs as they squeak and cry and run down the kind of the same drag strip that was used for your race. And life continues on, and the crowd kind of closes in on you. And the rest of the day is yours, how you want to approach things.
I want to go ahead and hand Aki 100, like his gold pieces and mine, and like, you know, let him know that, you know, wherever he wants to stay is fine, and that I'll find him there. And, you know,
Maybe he doesn't want to stay where you're staying.
Well, I just figured like the two of us would be staying in the same inn.
Fair enough.
Since we're both guides and working as a team.
I'm leaning
Would you
more
hand
towards that place you said in the Turkey Anchorage, the place built out of the dinosaur bones.
The Hunter's Rest, yeah. Very popular amongst some of the specifically people come here to hunt.
Would you hand me my 50 gold or not yet?
No, that was literally going to be the next thing, is I was going to hand you
sorry.
your 50 gold and tell you that, you know, we'll all meet back up at wherever Aki wants to buy the rooms, and take the rooms out of my gold, keep your gold.
Oh.
And then just basically wanted to show Sangie around if she needed to like go to any specific places to buy.
I think that would be nice.
Sure.
That way she can buy whatever she needs to, or backup clothes, because you just might need them, or whatever you might need. I don't know. That's the idea, is I'll show you around. And same with Alexa. I figured I could just sort of show them around and get to know each other. And then that way Aki doesn't have to like worry about people staring him down. But he could also just go do some shady shit that sounds fun.
I
100%.
I think while she's walking next to you, Coppersworth, she be just getting a little bit distracted with the sights around her.
Of which there are a lot. A lot of things are different here to how they are in Faerun, especially with the influx of tourists, with the obviously prize money, everything that's happening. You generally have, as he takes you away from, sorry, there's a bit of feedback there, Sangine.
Yeah, don't worry.
Cheers. He leads you away from the merchants' ward, which is where the rich, the more upper class businesses and taverns generally are. Kind of the center of government is here at the Golden Throne, which he points out kind of rising into the air, but you are led down to the Grand Souk. This is an explosion of people, sights, sounds, colors. You see everything being sold here, from dinosaurs to strange weapons you've never seen before. The native Yikelwa is what is very popular amongst the warriors here. I'll just give you the handout if anyone is interested in one of those. And being a guide, you are, well, not you, Coppersworth, being a guide, you are able to recommend certain things that are definitely necessary. For instance, rain catchers. If you want to drink the waters from the pools gathered around, even the rivers gathered around the jungles of Shult, you have a high chance of catching one of many various maladies. For instance, throat leeches, or never fun. But yeah, typically rain catchers are good for safe water.
I think Guinea will probably buy one of those.
In a similar fashion, insect repellent. The bugs of Schultz carry many diseases. The wax is typically the go-to choice. Sorry, what were you going to say there?
I'm just I am with the group too, right? With the Copperworth and
Imagine
so I
you
would
guys
buy
are all
one of
walking
the
around looking at the city. Yeah, sure. So
Yes.
it's one gold piece for 20 days worth, basically. And as you guys are moving through the city,
Guinea at that point will buy 3 of those.
I would only buy one.
and you see now moving through the crowds a set of armed soldiers. But these aren't the similar Schulten soldiers that you've seen before. These all kind of have crisper uniforms with this red fist emblazoned on the chest. Those of you who've been in the city are aware of the Flaming Fist, a mercenary organization.
I duck under a table.
Sorry?
I duck under a table.
Okay, oh, nice. You're aware of this mercenary group. Some of you are not, and you can see them kind of move past, roughly pushing people out of the way, seeming rather unpleasant, just an outward appearance. What were you going to say? Yes?
I think the moment I see very very locked behind, the moment I see Copperworth duck under the table, I would look at him, look at myself, and then try to hide as well.
So both of you please give me a stealth check with advantage, as you are in quite a crowded area.
I'm also gonna mention to Sangia that she needs to hide her tail. They don't like others. Xenophobic.
Guinea would just wrap her tail. Would just. She doesn't actually have another hole to fit her the hide her tail in, and she can't just wrap it around her waist. At least like in Dragon Ball show, because that'll still expose it. She doesn't have a way to hide it.
Is she just try and keep it away from them as much as possible then?
Basically, she's gonna try.
Okay.
She's gonna try to keep it away.
So, in the throng of the crowds, you both duck under the table, trying to get out of sight. The figures keep moving. You can hear them. One of them make a bit of a snide comment and push aside an albino dwarf that was busy nailing a piece of paper to a signboard, kind of like a wanted ad. It moves aside. Hey, watch it! They kind of laugh. One of them kind of spits on the floor at the dwarf's feet. And you can see it's 3 human soldiers. And then they continue off into the crowd. And the dwarf kind of shakes himself off, shaking his head. Not seeking confrontation, continues what he's doing for a moment before moving off. But you see these people move into the crowd and they pass you.
Do they notice my tail?
They do not.
Guinea brings us. Guinea just breathes a sigh of relief. It's okay, you two. You can come out.
Nice.
Who are those?
I roll out of there and let them know that those guys come from Boulder's Gate. And they're incredibly xenophobic because of how terrible Boulder's Gate is and the people that live there. So they've all developed this, like, if they were to see me, they want to arrest me for just being a grung.
It's not that bad here, but because I mean the Death Coast is bringing in a variety of people trying to make a buck here. So the main thing that the Flaming Fist is doing is they're trying to basically tax the forest. So I'm just getting some feedback from you there, Sangine. Just going to push to talk.
Sorry.
Yes, what do you want to say? Okay, it's fine. What I want to say about the Flaming Fist, they don't necessarily walk around with open xenophobia. I mean, they're not keen on the other races, of course, but to form a mercenary, to form an exploratory group into the jungle, you need to have what is called a charter of exploration. You that work for Jabala are aware of this, and you that work for the Undercity are probably aware of ways people skirt around this, but what it equals to is that any cultural items, any items of cultural value or monetary value that you bring from the jungle are taxed, and you're expected to give a large percentage, like 40 to 50%, over to the Flaming Fist, or just be rejected from the city, which they guard the walls of with their mercenary force.
Oh, okay.
40 to 50. Damn.
I just immediately went to Boulder State.
I actually went to a port in Baldur's Gate to get here, but how do you think Gine got into the port in the first place? Got into the sea.
I mean, we can talk about that as you develop the character a bit more. There's various ways you could have come here, pretty much from anywhere in Faerun.
Yeah, but you have a good point. Just wanted to know.
Yeah, get a feel for it and we'll see what happens. But I think so. For the moment, you guys are in the Grand Souk. I'm gonna put down. Where's my party token? I don't have my party token yet.
Is it okay if I go to the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to take a halfway break. We say 5-10 minutes for bathroom and coffee. What do you guys think?
I would love that, yeah.
Awesome. I'll put a time-stamped message and I'll see you guys in a bit.
I think. Well, never mind. I think we'll take a break.
What's up? You cool with that?
I was actually hoping some of you could stay behind and talk, because I have a lot of time on my hands, so...
I can stay after a few minutes of going to the bathroom and getting some water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for it. I'll chill for now. What do you think of Port Nyanzaru so far?
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed running stories here. It's a very vibrant place.
Yeah, and it's really nice of you trying to fill in our backstories into the world. It's nice of you for that.
Yeah, it's always what gets you invested in the story, really.
Yeah, the backstory. Even though I don't think Guinea will I'm not sure how Guinea would express about I'm pretty sure she's not gonna exactly give her motivations to come into ToA yet to a group, because she just met.
Yes,
but
of course.
yeah, but she might talk about Hearthstone Wukong a little bit and talk. And I'm pretty sure she would tell him how arrogant that guy was. But he still cares about his monkey subjects. I'm pretty sure
very,
you.
very interesting. It's definitely not a deity that would have been known or heard of around here. So
Yeah, true. That's why I took to give her the far traveler background. So yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. I made sure to give her the far traveler background, so she would be an anomaly in a country that probably doesn't know about her.
I mean, at the moment, Port Nyanzaru is a bit of a melting pot, so at least you blend in a bit.
Yeah, even though I'm the only one with a monkey tail.
Yeah, I mean, you see like lizard people, snake people. There's a lot of anthropomorphism going on.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I mean, this
In
is
this downtime, real quick clarifications on things.
Yeah, what's this?
So, with the guide background, one of the things that we still hadn't settled yet is how the Wanderer feat from the Outlander background would work. Because we didn't want to trivialize the need to find water and food. So, like, how would that work on traveling to the jungle?
That is a good question. So I imagine with the water, you'd be able to find the. Sorry, it's a bit of feedback there. You'd be able to find the base amount of water, but obviously in the jungle you need twice the normal amount. So you'd have to go above and beyond that. Let me just check what I think the food requirements is normal. Let me just double check here quickly. Where's my music? Yeah, food is normal, so you'd probably be able to do a fairly good job scavenging. And this is Aki, and you are a native to Schultz, so I wouldn't see why. I mean, the jungle's hard to hunt in for anybody. Let's just double check the wording here. But we're pretty much going to be running it. I think we can pretty much run it as is because you're going to have to find extra water anyway.
We'll just say that the food portion of it is covered, but the water portion will have to go out of our way to find the necessary amount.
At the very least, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Alright. And would we do that based on like a nature check, for example?
No, I'd allow nature. Survival would be more appropriate.
Survival? Alright.
I'm all about people using your like thinking of different ways to use your different abilities. Basically, if you'd rather try and use a different skill, argue for that. I'm all about it.
Because I changed the wording on it. Roll a survival check for finding enough water.
I mean, on top of that, that's like a separate clause from your feat. Just to go and look for water would be a survival check, but someone might make use of nature and intellectual character to like use their facts to find, a valley or trees that signify water nearby or something like that.
Right.
So, but survival is perfect.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I think I got it, but I want to make sure because this is my first time playing and I'm starting with a spellcaster, so that's a little confusing.
Yes.
I have a spell list, and from what I understand from artificers, I get to choose. I get to choose in the morning of every day what spells I want to be able to use, and then I can use my spell slots however I want on those spells, right? Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
There's a really, really easy way to remember this, especially since you're an artificer. There's always ways that are easy to remember this, but you have a tablet that has a list of every song that you love to listen to. And every day you have to choose 7 songs. So you click those 7 and that's your magic spell. And
That
it's
is
like
amazing.
that's the best way to think about it with an
A
artificer.
tablet?
is because you
A
can't
tablet.
talk and
Tablet
magic
in
driven.
the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Who would have thought that?
I love that idea.
Yeah,
okay,
that's quite nice.
thank you.
It's just a really easy way to think about it to grasp what you're actually going to be doing. It's like a cleric does the same thing, but they have to pray. So it's like every morning you burn a bunch of incense and you inhale them, and then you learn new spells every day. Like it's just easier that way. Like
In my opinion, I think we all make a really good team so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we're probably missing is a frontliner, but yeah, but not all campaigns have frontliners, so let's just see how that goes.
I think
we got a barbarian coming.
Yeah.
We got a guy that can throw me.
The last
Yeah, barbarian, a barbarian.
He got lost in the forest, but don't worry about it. He'll be coming soon.
the Tomb of Annihilation campaign that I just finished like a week ago, they had 2 barbarians in their party.
That sounds like totally.
That was great.
By any chance,
Barbarian's running in. Sorry.
by any chance, was one of them a zealot?
No, wild magic and something else. Can't remember.
Because with a zealot, it gets to be pretty interesting if you have a cleric that can do ceremony.
Whoa, why?
Because then everybody can get married to the barbarian.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Oh
And then
yeah,
on the
I
side,
remember this.
Philip,
What is
and
this?
everybody
Like
can
giving
get
them
out.
a polygamy trait or something?
Yeah.
Seriously?
And so everybody constantly has +2 to AC as well as like advantage on.
Nice. Just
Like,
roving, happily
constitution
married
saving.
couple.
It's just funny. They didn't think about how it was written.
Sure.
Yeah, Wizard of the Coast makes a lot of mistakes. Like, like one of the first barbarian subclasses, the Berserker. They need to update that.
Oh, they do. Shame.
I heard they will be. They updated that for D&D 1, right?
Yes, that's going to be
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
I really can't wait for them to update it to be a proper Berserker without that stupid penalty. It's stupid.
And the pull battle rager as well doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, it doesn't actually fit the themes that much, and the mechanics is just terrible.
Okay, so have we got everyone back from break?
Yeah,
Yeah.
me.
Awesome. Are you with us? You're Jesse?
Oh shit, am I on mute?
No, you're not. Sorry,
no,
I'm
you're good.
still like
Okay.
names and
'Cause I
voices.
was like, you
haven't
guys
linked
were
up
all
yet.
responding to what I was just saying. Like,
Yeah.
oh god.
No, that's from the hidden mic that we have in your room. Don't worry about it.
In my opinion, I'm just really happy those fire fists. What are they called again? Fire or iron
The
fists?
flaming fist.
Flaming fist. Okay. I'm just really happy the flaming fists didn't notice Guinea's tail because I'm not sure how they would react to it.
Well,
So
it's
probably-
cool to know that they're not as like. If you're not human, they imprison you in Baldur's Gate, basically.
That's stupid in my
They would if
opinion.
they could, but the merchant princes they basically relied upon to keep the undead from the walls, but the merchant princes still control the city at the end of the day.
That's really good, actually. And besides, if it wasn't for Guinea's mostly human physique, as you know, as an ASMR, she would probably be thrown into the dungeon just because. Don't you think? If she wasn't Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. So, our gentleman that spoke to Jobal Coppersworth, you now, with the objects you were given, you also see that with the gold and the stipend and that, is one object kind of slid in there with a little note for you. That was obviously meant to not be opened there and then.
We'll
All
don't
right.
open it then and there then.
Um, so you can see that the writing is from Merchant Prince Jobal, and a little note slips out from a larger folded piece of paper. This you see the note says, "This is the reconnaissance we have been able to gather on the island. It is not much, but then again, no one has really been into the jungle and survived in the last couple of decades." And you see the kind of the last line. This is an extremely valuable object. People would kill to take this. Keep it safe. Keep it hidden. And there is a map that falls out, a map of Schultz with a couple of locations marked on it, what's known as much as it's known to Merchant Prince Jobal, at least in his information gathering. Let's get your handout here and show it to you. So, instead of showing you the handout, I'll just take you to the page. We're going to be spending a lot of our time here on the map of Schultz. This is effectively what you have now. It's a big map, so it might take a bit of time to load, unless you got super internet.
Yeah, it's taking a while, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's
job.
taking a while for me as well.
We're going to
I
be...
mean, halfway for me.
Yeah, so obviously there's a bunch of areas and places on this map, and as we go, we will be removing the hex tiles as we travel, of course. Now, the guides have had a bit of experience moving in and through the jungles of Schultz. You can see, well, it's still very blurry. We are roughly here. That's where Port Nyanzaru is. You can see the coloration here is like a yellow to a yellow-orange. It's not the normal jungle color. That indicates undead hotspots. The east side and the kind of middle, it's dangerous. I mean, you literally look around and you can see figures, silhouettes roving through the jungle. All these loose undead, and fighting them just simply attracts more. So it's never a good idea to hang around there too much. Most people either sail around or take a trip along the east. The rivers are a good way to go because while kind of a little bit stagnant and not that quick of currents, you can travel down on the canoes and make a bit of a headway. There are a couple of rivers, and the zombies can't get to you. They just walk into the river and drown themselves.
All right. Can
Yes.
you? So you said that the map that fell out has a vague line. Are you going to be putting that onto the overworld map?
What did I say? It has a vague line. This is the map you see. Shouldn't be anything different.
Okay. So, but you said when I was looking at the note, a map fell out.
This is the map.
Okay, so it's just all right. I assumed it was like a small treasure map where it'd be like, there's this landmark, so you got to walk to there. Like, okay. I thought there would be little lines for whatever reason. That's all.
No stress.
What is the mark for the pick and shovel min on the maps?
Those are old mines.
All right.
So some of them, probably one or two closest to Port Nyanzaru would still be in operation. Most of them are abandoned, as pretty much the entire society of Schultz has receded to Port Nyanzaru and left the jungle. Most people don't go in. Most people don't come out. It's dangerous as hell.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Alright.
what's that?
I just said so. All right, like just thinking out loud. Nothing important.
Is
No
it
problem.
okay if Guinea looks over your tiny little shoulder to see the map?
Yeah.
Second
At this
map of-
point, like if we're just all like in the end together, I will have just laid it down on a table. I won't have laid the note down.
Oh, that's the map. That's the map of Jolt. It's small.
We're
Question is,
actually pretty full. I mean, we can fill this one in as we go, but these are pretty rare.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, you're in this it's quite a work of art, really. A collection of large Tyrannosaurus Rex skulls, Brontosaurus skulls, even what you assume to be possibly a bit of a dragon skull, kind of merged with the architecture of Schultz to form a tavern that is very popular for those seeking to brag about their trophies, hunters. Sorry, there's just a bit of feedback there.
Sorry.
No
It's just
And you can see adorning the walls of the 3 floors the heads of all sorts of beasts, ranging from kind of smaller. No, normally it would be like stags and boars, but you see here kind of smaller velociraptors, all the way to allosauruses, and the prime spot at the top is just a single kind of adult T-Rex head. It looks like there's been a fair amount of hunts here. Are you able to find a small table to yourself? What you want to drink is on you. You are aware that kind of the common drink here is tej, which is it's a very sweet drink made from fermented honey.
I think Guinea will probably take some checks to try it out.
It's interesting. It's definitely got the sweetness still, but the kick of the alcohol is there. It is stronger than you expect. It takes you by surprise.
Is there tea or any sort of herbal kind of drink?
You're not really in the right place for that. The bartender kind of chuckles as he could offer you some kind of like basically like tap water, or you're gonna get ale or wine.
Well, I'll get the ale then. That's fine.
All right, it's gonna be 2 copper pieces.
Is it 100 copper pieces per gold?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll transfer 1 gold into.
I think Guinea will probably order 3 plates. It's of meat.
Very well. So they do have fairly simple fare here, and they tend to cook a lot of the hunts that they've collected. So a lot of meat dishes with gravies and potatoes and things like that.
Yeah, Guinea takes 3 plates for herself.
Okay. For that, it's going to be 4 copper pieces of plates.
That's fair enough. How much is that in total? As gold?
Just the meal, it's going to be. Oh, it's going to be very low. It's going to be 1 silver and 2 copper. No gold. So
Oh,
what
never
he'll do
mind.
is he'll give you 10 silver, and then you can spend what you would. You can like do it in exchange if you need.
Yeah, good point. I think Guinea will probably just get back to the sea where her supposed new companions are and start filling her face in. She's eating like a wild monkey actually. You get for one second she's gentle and kind, the other second she's ravenous. It's like against some poor meat eating potatoes and whatever is on that dish.
A bit of gravy almost falls on the map.
That's where we're going. No, I think being in a wood elf, I would abstain from eating the meat and eat anything around that, or just abstain from eating for now.
Okay.
Sure.
Christian, can I make a check to see how everyone reacts to my supposed eating habits?
You can give me a perception check. You can hear in the background as well. There's a bunch of quite loud individuals that are definitely drinking. One figure in particular seems to be boasting to the others. And then I stab the creature right there. Yeah, right between the eyes. He's got his tongue out. He's like concentrating, but you can tell he's had quite a lot to drink. Final cry, the beast dropped, and I stood over its corpse while the tribal woman adored me. It was fantastic. He's wearing like a bit of a beret, quite colorful person, and there's a bunch of people around him that are like all like drinking, listen to his stories. San Guinea, you kind of get distracted by this. The food is better than you expected, and you kind of get lost in it for a moment. You don't really notice the others' reactions.
She like any monkey, like any Hong SMR. She doesn't care about others' opinions, but
Fair
about
enough.
how she eats.
Yes.
And probably she just probably when she finishes the meal she just says, can I have 2 more please? She goes to the bartender.
He looks shocked, but it's your coin, isn't it? Get 2 more out here. And signals to the back.
I would chuckle and say, "Well, I guess that's where the 50 gold would go." Yeah.
At least you didn't choose to stay at one of the fancier places.
Yeah.
As for the others, it is a fairly raucous environment, but you do have a semblance of privacy in that you're kind of against the corner and everyone is either listening to drunken tales or betting with dice and cards. As for the time of day, your shopping did take a fair amount of time. You're looking at about 3-4 p.m. You've still got a fair couple of hours before you lose the light if you want to do something else with the rest of your day. But for the moment, you're enjoying, well, one of you enjoying a nice meal.
Yeah.
Just while everybody's, Sanguine's eating and everybody else is kind of chatting and getting to know each other better, I have proceeded to get the bartender to bring me a gallon bucket of the honey mead beer wine that everybody's drinking, and I'm soaking in it and getting my hour's worth of liquid bathing.
Can you bathe in Tej? Wouldn't that kill you and like just engulf,
You
like imbibe all the alcohol?
I think you would just be super drunk.
You're pickling yourself, man. It's an interesting way to go. Okay, you want to be a golden grung?
Sorry, I'll just mute myself.
You're okay.
No stress. There wasn't any feedback there, man. Don't worry about it. What's grung or medium, right?
Nope, small.
Oh snap! Okay, touche. I saw them as medium. Okay, fair enough. You see him up into his bucket of Tej. He sinks rather slowly, as it is still fairly thick, being honey based. And you can hear those of you, if anyone's interested in kind of the very verbose person in the background. None of you are really, you're all really natives or foreigners from another land. You wouldn't really recognize this person, but you do see on the table next to him is a large stack of books, and he seems to be flashing them around. And he definitely wrote that, because you hear him at many points saying, "Ha, I wrote this one, you know." And he signs one or two and gives them off. You can see them moving around the pub as they circulate, and one person walks past holding one in his hand, and you read on the cover, Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Oh, well.
Okay, can you do a history check on that?
Yes, make a history check. Go for it.
Okay.
Could I, while he does that, can I, do I have to pay to get one, or?
It's not one. I know shit. I know shit.
Yeah, you
I'm just
take
gonna,
yes? What's that, Yajimbe? Yajimbe?
I want to like stand up out of my bucket, a little wobbly, and let everybody know that he's a liar and a charlatan, and he never writes any of his books. He just has adventurers write down what they fought. He's a liar. And then I want to sink back down into my bucket.
Do you like to shout this out into the whole room? Or just to your
No,
party?
just at the table, like not shouting it, just letting everybody know, like just don't trust him.
Well, you can see as they like look from what you said, they looked over to him. He's now got a fairly attractive young lady under his arms, and he's starting to start another tale about his further exploits, about how apparently, according to him, he was instrumental in slaying a white dragon. It's all here in my book, you know. He keeps referring back to it.
The moment I hear the word dragon, I would instantly get interested and walk over there and be at awe to listen to the story. And how can I acquire the book? Do I need to pay for it, or are they just handing them out?
You do see that there is a little sign there saying Volo's Guide to Monsters, short edition, and it is 25 gold pieces.
Oh no, I'm good, thank you.
There is also a signed version, but that is 35 gold pieces.
Can you start? Can you just start? What? Can you finishes your meal? You'll still somehow thin as a beautiful woman as she is. And she starts walking to the man and says, "Huh," and just bows. Hello. So you fought. So tell me, have you fought creatures on Shulk before?
And this just to get this straight, this is to Volo.
Volo.
Yeah. So as you kind of move in, like but in between the people there, because he is surrounded, kind of like sycophantically adoring kind of fans at this point. He falters in his heroic tale of how he was helping all of his team who had tragically fallen ill and stomach problems, you know. It's always like that on those trips up into the cold mountains. Something about the air disagrees with you. Oh, sorry, what was that, my dear? And he looks towards you, fairly interested in you, because you're pretty much his target audience, being kind of a young lady.
uh, tell me, have you? This is just a pop quiz. Have you ever fought? Have you ever fought demons from Christendom? What land would Guinea be from? At least what do you think best we can
Well,
decide?
I mean, that's not set in stone. Celestials come from all walks of life and all different planes. Did you have anything written up for what you did before this?
Well, Guinea was basically a former soldier, but she was kicked out because she couldn't bring herself to kill a terrorist.
Okay.
But didn't she basically became a cleaning lady and a stay-at-home mom after that.
So he looks at you and, my dear, come, if you would have a drink, drink with us. And I have faced many a creature in Schultz, be it from the wild, ravenous grung, and he hasn't noticed Coppersworth, of course, all the way over to the mystical Aldani that have never really been recorded. I have on account here where I saw one slipping into the Aldani Basin on one of my forays into Schultz.
Okay, Gina is just a little bit entrapped. I don't know what he's saying. Can I do an insight check just in case?
Yes.
While they're talking, would you say, like, how many eyes are on her and him talking? Like, is the whole room preoccupied with it, or
Most of the room, I would say, like 3/4.
if I try to steal one of the books, like, what would that take?
That
Is
would
like the-
be a sleight of hand. And so while the books he has are on the table in front of him, there's a couple of others that have made their ways into people's hands around the rooms, who have purchased them or earned his good grace and been gifted with them. It'd probably be easier to lift one of these if you felt like it.
I'll read the room a little bit more, and then I don't want to start the ruckus while
Okay.
we're playing.
Well, Guinea is gonna basically try to tell her own story. Story a little bit. Tell me, have you ever heard of the mystic tale of the Monkey King?
Wait, is she talking to me or the DM?
No, the DM basically the guy who's selling the books.
Oh, sorry, Tavolo. I can't say I have. There are many animalistic deities in Faerun. Not much my area of expertise. More geography than religion
Yeah.
studies.
DM, can you send a picture? I'm on my PC right now. It doesn't have all the pictures. Can you send? You know the picture I sent you about Sun Wukong?
Yes.
Can you send a picture? Can you send a picture in the chat?
Okay, I will do so. He, though, does not seem to know of Sun Wukong, but you can see that not really. While you are not fanning his ego, you are not kind of returning any kind of advances he might be making. He is very quickly looking to the others in the crowd again. You're kind of losing his interest. He seems to be fairly intoxicated at this point and probably interested in the more shallower aspects of tavern life.
Fair enough. And are you sending the picture now or?
I'm just busy saving it and uploading it.
Oh, sorry, DM.
That's fine. Are you guys doing? Is any other player doing anything else while this is happening?
I think, seeing as he lost interest, I will just go back to the table. Or actually, I would try to just listen to his stories and try like you said that some of them gained this good grace by just listening. So I'll try to look, even though it probably won't work. I'll try my best to look the most interested and the most odd at his all of his stories and be like ask all the different questions, every different question. Yeah, I
Fair
want
enough.
that book.
And she makes a small minor illusion of Sun Wukong, the picture you see here.
Nice.
And she basically starts to tell a small story, and she asks if it's okay with you. I would actually like if possible, I would actually like to ask you ask you to tell. She Gine she wants to spread. She basically wants Sun Wukong to be somewhat known to some people. She wants to pass as because Sun Wukong, technically, in her case, while he may be arrogant to a fault, he is still her ancestor and her patron. So she wants to spread his existence to the world, basically.
And you did pass some temples where, I mean, you could possibly even start approaching people if you wanted to spend a bit of time spreading the word to other people, even just people in this tavern. You're welcome to go and do that as well, like a persuasion check, or I could even allow a religion roll.
I am going to do a persuasion check.
Okay, and I'd also like a persuasion from Alixe as you're trying to sit there looking vapidly interested in everything that Volo has to say, and you instantly tell this man is very full of himself, but he seems to be quite wealthy and he's buying rounds for everyone around him. Mostly a lot of the reason a lot of the people are staying.
My worst stats. Let go. Not 20 right here, coming out. Or not. I offend him.
No, you keep like you're really trying, but you always kind of laugh just a moment behind everyone else and throw him off of the next story. He kind of looks annoyed at you. It's just not going your way. In the background, though, Sangine, you taking the time to go speak to a couple of people who have shown interest in listening to those of maybe a foreign land or another religion.
Basically, she's telling the story of her land and the mystic tale of Sun Wukong. At least his origins at first. And just let you know, DM, she's telling the story of Sun Wukong's origin.
Yes, this is definitely interesting. Some of the people turn away, but some of them do at least listen to a deity that they've never experienced or heard of people worshipping, and some interested in the story itself.
To be
The
fair,
day-
to
yes.
be fair, he was never actually a god to begin with. He just got the powers of a god.
Which is not unheard of as well in the pantheon here. But keep in mind the day is moving on. If there's anything you guys want to be getting done, you spent a couple of hours shopping, and now you've probably spent about an hour or so talking, conversing, listening. If any of you that haven't had a big part to play yet, like Aki and Jesse, the others keeping fairly quiet, if you'd like to make a perception check to kind of be a fly on the wall, see if during this time you heard something interesting, or if you'd like to do anything else, you're welcome to do so.
I wondered if I would know that Alixe was wanting a book, because if that's the case, I feel like my character would just steal one for him.
I mean, I think it would be obvious. My character is very obvious to read. When he wants something, he starts to always give looks about at it. Like he asks questions about it. So yeah. And if you would communicate that with me, I would try to help you in any way.
So
I guess
Aki,
my character would want to steal something for him if he's making that big a deal of it.
okay. The perception check, was that for what I asked you earlier? If you kind of heard anything?
Yeah, and then would I make a second one to see who'd be the easiest mark in the room to steal a book from?
So, yes, the You can kind of see a couple of targets. If you'd like to further ascertain kind of which would be the best one, I'd say insight would be more appropriate. Otherwise, you can simply attempt kind of the closest one. It's not strictly necessary, but it might give you the upper hand. Ouch. Okay, so you're just going to pick one at random. You think that is going to be the best one. It's kind of a gut feeling thing, and you go with it. You see nearby, it's a human female that's moved back to the table, and you can see there are with a mixed group of people, a couple of regular Faerunian dwarves. And a gnome as well. So give me a sleight of hand, and if you're going to do anything to confuse the situation or magic or anything as well, just let me know.
I wouldn't do anything like that unless somebody else was causing a distraction already.
So I want to get out of my bucket because I've been here for an hour and did my stoking.
Yeah.
And I want to look over at Bolo and just shout really loud, "You're a liar! A cheat, a fraud, and those books are bullshit." And
Now,
then
I just want to ask quickly: is this based on like does your character know this?
yeah, because
So
he's a guy, so he's purchased and picked up volumes of his random books, and none of them have ever turned out to be true.
fair enough.
I think after hearing that, for a second, I would turn like being like angry face to Copperworth, like because I'm so in character trying to like persuade the guy, and then I would remember, wait, he's on my side, and then I would turn back and try to win back the.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
how you doing there? Do you have
So
a?
what is what?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna build. I'm gonna build one. I see we are 5.
We are.
Yeah. So what's the addition?
So they've had a dinosaur race. You guys have been given patronage by one of the merchant princes, given a bit of money to gear yourself up if you plan on heading into the jungle. You were going to be our frontliner, right?
Yeah. Do you allow custom lineages,
Yes.
feats, multi-classing?
Yes. The only
Okay.
2 feats I'm not allowing
Yeah.
is
Yeah. So
the
it's
damage
don't worry.
ones.
Yep.
The 2 feats I want. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last Tombs of Annihilation was a nightmare
I
with
won't.
Gloomstalker, Ranger, and Sharpshooter.
I read over them and they seem very, very strong, so I understand why. It's like plus
Yeah.
10 to damage in their great weapons. Like
Yeah, that's a
more
lot
damage
more.
than I do.
Well, it has a drawback as well. It's -5 to hit. So yeah.
Yeah, with classes that always get advantage. Yeah. But regardless, so we've got a bit of a party that has come together now. Looks like we've got a guide on the side of good and a guide on the side of bad that have come together to lead the party into the jungle, being 2 of our players, Aki and Coppersworth. We have as well, let's see. Alexei, just give a quick rundown of your. To save time,
Yeah.
let's see. Alexei, would you prefer to do it yourself, Alexei?
Yeah, I can. It's not a long. It's just I'm a wood elf with a scar from his right cheek down to his elbow, yes, and I'm an artificer,
Nice.
very tall, slim.
And then you can see well, if you were in the tavern where they are, which is kind of made of the skulls of larger dinosaurs and kind of behemoth-like lizards, it's more of a hunter's tavern. You can see a grung stumbling about, shouting obscenities at Volo, an author in the background. He's just come out of his Tej bath, so maybe a bit sticky. Coppersworth, what do you look like?
So Coppersworth is a blue grung, and he's about 2'8" and 21 pounds. Oddly enough, he doesn't look like thin or emaciated. He just looks incredibly toned, fit, and muscular. But he's pretty easy to talk to. Pretty like honest, good fellow. Like more than willing to help. Money doesn't matter to him. But when he does get drunk, he gets kind of mean. But he still is honest. But he's just a little mean.
Nice. Loses those
Yeah.
inhibitions.
DM,
Uh,
DM, can you explain my character to? Can I call you Zero?
I'd like to ask as well something.
What would you like to ask? Yeah, go for it.
I'm trying to select. First of all, we start level 1.
Correct.
Okay, I'm trying to choose the ability score method. It says custom or choose, nothing else. So I don't see point by here.
Oh, I apologize. I haven't got the player's handbook yet. I've got most of the storybooks. I'm still getting the
Oh.
rules. So you might have to just custom and put it in yourself.
Okay, let me remind myself how to do that.
If you get stuck, I'm happy to help.
I mean, I can't count down the remaining numbers. I have to check it online. Okay. Point by system. Where is-
There's a thing called Chicken Dinner that you can go to online, and it's a point buy calculator, and you just type in 27 points, and then
Yep.
it'll allow you to.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, I'm pretty
found
sure it's
another
called
one. Don't
Chicken
worry.
Dinner.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
used as well. It's very cool. So, did you have an idea? You said you wanted to be a frontliner. Did you have? Did you choose a
Yep.
class?
Yeah, I'm a battle master fighter.
Nice. Okay.
Have
Does
you
your character
seen-
have a name?
Yeah, it's guts.
Nice. Have you seen? Yes, you were saying.
Guts.
Have you seen
I'm
the Berserk?
freaking
the Berserk
Berserk.
anime?
I'm playing Guts from Berserk.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
And I'm playing Gine from Dragon Ball. Two anime characters. What are the
Yeah.
odds?
So, Guts, what race are you?
Human. Tasks custom lineages. I will play him as human as he was. He's
Okay.
a battle master, frontliner, tactician,
You
with
know,
high
my,
tenacity, and heavy armor.
So it might be safe to. Yes. What are you saying, Sangine?
sorry, I just wanted. There was a video on YouTube before it was taken down sadly, but I watched it how to build Guts. Basically, if you want to go very inhuman for Guts, just you probably should prioritize your strength. But just in case you have a lot of HP, make sure you get the tough feat for feat.
I'm
Just-
sure
just-
he's got
just-
some. I'm sure he's got some interesting ideas.
Yeah, it's just my opinion. It's his choice, but I'm just suggesting.
Cool.
Yeah,
What I
thank you.
wanted to ask was, you being a native, or did you come in as a foreigner to Port
No,
Nyanzaru?
I'm a high sword.
Perfect. There's a lot of high swords coming in, obviously, because news of the Death Coast is spreading. And as I told the other players, there is some of the higher up cities and factions have come together to offer a 10,000 gold reward. This has brought in a lot of mercenaries and a lot of groups that are not interested in setting off into the jungle. Your group that you're going to be joining is one such. They've earned the patronage of one of the merchant princes that run this place. Merchant Prince Jobal specifically, who manages the guides and sells swords. So they have basically a stipend from him, and they have his backing. They can get resources and such if they need political favors, or you're not really sure how far the bond goes.
Okay.
All the way to the top, just like the elevator.
And I can't wait for two anime characters to play in the same party.
So I'll put a note here that the hunter's rest is kind of at the moment you go to place. Yes.
This is also As you all know, Gine used to be a soldier in the same squadron as her husband, but she was kicked out for being, softy. Would Christian Guts? Would you want Gine? If you want a connection, if it's okay if you have a connection to Gine before coming to Cholt. Is that okay with you? Just so you have some dynamics.
Yeah, no problem.
Is Guts,
say,
imagine being a
have you seen-
fighter. Sorry, carry
Have
on.
you seen the anime?
I have seen parts of the anime, but I do know Guts' best friend / leader basically betrayed them all and basically killed
Yeah.
them and raped his girlfriend. But I'm not going to that. I'm not going to that. It's dark as hell. Guts is one of the most darkest characters in the world.
Keeping in mind, we're still trying to stick to the D&D canon.
Yeah, true. Remember that. Yeah. That's why I basically make my patron something that's not part of the Dragon Ball canon. But
Yeah.
basically,
Let's say that if you know God Hunt and the extraterrestrial beings, but maybe during one of our encounters, I met Songine and we had the quest together, maybe something like that.
that would
Nice.
make sense. That would be quite nice.
Yeah, because you are
I think Volgine-
extraterrestrial being, you're not a human, I think.
And well, to be not known, she's a descendant of Sun Wukong. She's an Asimar, basically, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay,
she
so-
does have a Saiyan appetite.
Okay.
As for the rest of now, let's see here. Your character Guts. I'm just trying to remember that. Now, seeing as you have a link to Sun Gine, maybe you guys could have communicated and you can meet her here at the Hunter's Rest. Especially seeing as the others would be needing Coppersworth and Elixe and Aki. They'd be needing strong sword arms for the jungle. And if you could come highly recommended and, being known on a personal level to be a good soldier, that's always a plus. That could be how you kind of meet up with everyone.
Mhm.
Is it
Yep.
okay if I interact? Is it okay if I interact with the others with Copper about this? Copper, I actually.
Well, so
Well-
sorry, wait. Let me interrupt you there because Copper was busy screaming at Volo.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
So, what exactly did you say? You said his books are a liar. He can't help you.
He's a liar, a fraud. He never writes anything. He just hires people to fill it in, and then he makes up stories. I've purchased his books, and none of them have helped. And I have
Oh.
because of like
Yeah.
the guild that I'm in and their library and access to monster guides and bestiaries and items and anything. It's like I would rather trust in Mordekainen than I would in Volo.
How dare you, sir, interrupt me here with such vulgarities and lies? You see, he's actually pretty intoxicated at this point. My books are nothing but the cleanest and purest form of information, straight from the source, from the horse's mouth, from the chimera's mouth.
I think at that point, Gine would probably stop her story about Sun Wukong and just go in between them. How about we calm down and just.
Harumph at you, sir! You can see he's like going red in the face. Some of the people have kind of moved away from him as he's getting pretty ugly.
Sir, but the way you're acting is highly inappropriate. Now stop.
I'll show you inappropriate. He starts like picking up all of his books as if to kind of leave. Too many for him to carry. Like one kind of drops down and he picks that one up and another one drops and it gets a bit comical and people laugh. You can see he's just getting like redder in the face the whole time.
I would offer him a hand to help him. And maybe steal one.
Thank you. People can't appreciate a good author around here, but he definitely seems interested in moving on to the next building. So As he kind of starts to leave his table, are you saying anything, stopping him, doing anything?
No, I just randomly pick up one of the books that he dropped.
Oh.
And then
Well-
get a smile on my face and walk over to the table. Not drunk at all. Not just like the whole time it's been a ruse. I put the book on the table and slide it over and say you're welcome.
Wait, do I see him pick up the book? Because if I am, I instantly drop all the books I helped him with. I just go to the table. That's my only mission, literally.
Okay. Yeah, you hear him as you drop his books, like one of them hits his foot, and you're like, oh, and he like falls and drops the rest of his. I mean, people eventually help him up out of pity, but as you kind of go away, yeah, one of the books is there.
Yeah, I just go to the table. I thank Aki. I hand him 10. How much is the books? 25. I hand him like 12 gold and say, here, the half of the price. Thank you, and I just start reading it.
Nice. So this is a special short edition. It does seem to have at least a fair covering of the basics of the animal life and the plant life. Mostly animal life, of course.
Seeing how. Okay, yeah.
Sorry. Guinea seeing that just for some reason she just remembered something important. Oh, dang it! I forgot. An old friend of mine is coming to Cholt as well. Is he in Cholt as well? I think I can persuade him to help us.
I think at this point, coming through the door, you probably would see your friend in the background. Guts, would you be able to describe to the party what they would see?
Yeah, you're seeing a human, a very tall one, almost 2 meters of height, dressed in black heavy armor, carrying a large great sword on his back, and having a black cloak, and his one eye is patched, and he can see you can see that he has only one eye left.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Guinea wouldn't accidentally he didn't spot you because she thinks you're still in town, and I think you would just walk behind her. Well, can you walk behind? I think you're just behind Guinea. She just can't see you.
I would
Okay.
approach Gina and say, "Oh, you're here."
Guts, how are you so quiet in all that armor?
Well, I'm
what
not. Maybe you're distracted with something else.
What kind of armor are you wearing, just out of curiosity? Does
At
it
the
look
moment,
quite
it's a
heavy?
chainmail.
Okay, check.
Yeah, it's a heavy armor. Yeah.
It's good to see you, Guts. Gina gives you a quick hug. Then she knows you don't like hugging, so she basically just lets you go. Oh, she basically hugs you for 1 second, then lets you go. Oh, next, because I'm pretty sure you don't like contact that much.
Well, the rest of the tavern
Yeah.
has kind of gone back to normal around you now that Volo's been escorted out to move on to the next place, or who knows, maybe to retire somewhere quiet with the bed. You see this other kind of huge figure pull up. Maybe a good time to kind of put the map away, as the busy tavern does not kind of lend itself so much to privacy.
I think I look up at the Guts and I'm like, I just whistle like, wow, I thought I was tall, and I just go back to reading my book.
Yeah, Gus would look at you without saying anything. He would give a quick smile.
You're reading quite an interesting section, in fact, Alexei, about a carnivorous plant called the triflower frond. 3 different utilities in one plant, according to this. Kind of the first first type of flower gives out an attractive scent that brings in prey. The second one has a flower with a paralytic agent that stuns them, and the third one kind of begins dissolving and absorbing with poisons. This is one of the regular kind of plants you can find in the Shilton jungle. You kind of realize what you're in for moving into those areas.
Nice.
And I have a handout for you, in fact, as you look to the picture. There you go.
Ooh. Oh, that's cute. I want that as a plant in my garden. Probably a very dangerous spot.
Oh man, but that nectar is so weird.
I think I might as well help this tavern with some cleaning. I go to the bartender and ask, can I help around? Can I help clean a little bit? If that's okay with you?
He looks at you like you're a bit crazy. You're looking for a job? Is that it?
No, I eventually will be going to the jungle, but I am happy. I'm actually happy to clean a little bit before I have to go soon. Free of charge. You don't have to pay me.
Listen, lady, I don't know what you're getting at. We've got people that do the cleaning here. You want a job? I can give you a job, but otherwise... He moves on to serve someone else. He strangely doesn't seem interested.
She walks back. Oh, looks like my cleaning services are still a bust. As always.
I see kind of looking at you strange, like pretty sure you're trying to scam him or something. Definitely not trusting you. Probably not the most trustworthy people frequent this place, in his defense. But as you kind of head back to the table, looking around at the rest of the group that's assembled here, you are now 5 strong, much better numbers than you had earlier, and looking to be a pretty decent exploratory force. Those of you who have been natives of Schultz, or at least the guides, you would know that you're going to have to at some point deal with the Flaming Fist. You are going to have to get a I've gone blank. What are they called again? Charter of Exploration. Otherwise, your travel into the jungles as fact-finding and treasure-finding missions are basically illegal by the city's defender standards. You know that charters of exploration are obtainable at... that's the wrong one. Are obtainable at Fort Beluarian, which lies just north of Port Nyanzaru. It's a fortification. That is kind of the headquarters here of the Flaming Fist. It's fairly inexpensive to book travel there. Regular trips do make the trip around the Bay of Schultz.
I'm guessing that's our first spot to head, right?
So, I mean, it's fairly late in the day, maybe about 5 p.m. at this point. You also have the other bit of information that Jabal gave you to contact one of his contacts, pockmarked Poe, a man in the old city, kind of in the beggars area near the executioner's run. I mean, and there's also various other things you're welcome to get done here in town. To kind of skip the preamble, if Guts is going to be joining the group, there would be a 50 gold stipend that will be available to him. Guts, if you wanted to upgrade any equipment or anything like that, most is available here in Port Nyanzaru.
Well, real quick, since everybody's back at the table, I'm gonna walk over to, well, I guess hop, just for fun. Hop over to the bartender and just give him like 10 gold and let him know that that's for the tab at the table and anything else that we order. And then just sort of like walk back and sit down.
Right, you are, sir. Are you booking? They do have rooms there for the night as well.
I believe we've already booked some rooms. My associate over there
Okay.
had prepared those. But if he hasn't, I'll come back and pay.
Well, I mean, it's not the prices here are pretty inexpensive. It's out in the boonies, so to speak. It's poor accommodation. So it's going to be 2 silver pieces per person per day, not including food or anything like that.
Everybody can have a room on me for the night.
Do you
And
have
then-
any starting gold?
I think I'll just.
So that depends on if you picked your starting equipment or if you rolled for gold. You'll have all of that amount.
Yeah.
You guys by becoming patrons of Jabal, you kind of get this 50 gold stipend. With the promise of more if you fix certain problems for him. There's probably a lot you can do around Port Nyanzaru to get money. For instance, they won dinosaur races, there's Colosseum fighting, betting, there's various other objects. I'm sure lots of people need help.
We add 50 gold.
Yes.
Okay.
An extra 50.
And I technically have 80.
Oh, yes, from winning the race, you would get more. But I think as we hit the 3-hour mark, I think that's a pretty good place to call it here for our session 0.
Sounds good to me.
I'm glad we all made it. Sorry that you only managed to get you so late into the session, Guts, but I'm glad to have you regardless. So
I'm ready, by the way.
I can't wait for the next game, so we
Yeah.
can get. I hope we get in some proper combat and see how
Yes.
well we work together.
I'm sorry we didn't get into some nice combat here, but we will definitely get our teeth in the next session. There's a very interesting, there's many interesting storylines to be had here in Port Nyanzaru, all up to how you guys want to play things.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks everyone for joining. If you don't plan on carrying on with us, just send me a private message. I'm not phased. Otherwise, I'm happy to have all of you guys, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
See you on
Yep.
that
Bye.
stage.
Thanks.
Cool,
Bye.
guys.
Sorry for being late.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.